I mean, the interview is going to be very relaxed, dude. I don't want it to feel like scripted or anything. So like, um, yeah, I guess like just starting off the client interview, you want to just kind of like introduce who you are, what you're currently doing.
Mm. So my name's Anton. I've worked in sales for the past, 4 or 5 years. Had met Miguel through, Instagram. And for me, I've actually done some, like, I purchased some programs in the past trying to get, this business credit, and didn't really have like the results I was looking for. So
Yeah.
Miguel, I've been kind of seeing what he was doing with the real estate and just how he's able to get, approved for these bigger limits. So I was like, hey, let me see what he's doing. So joined probably I think about 3 4 months ago, and total we've hit over 100,000. 0% funded.
Let's
It
go.
was probably the yeah, I say probably the easiest process I've been through, because it's just like he just knows what he's doing, right? Tells me what to do. It's been very very simple. So yeah, super happy with the results.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm glad. And you mentioned it too on like one of the calls, like with Sonny. You're like, literally, I was kind of saying like I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. Literally, you hop on the one-on-ones like we're doing right now, and it's just like, all right, here's XYZ. Like in terms of that, like because I know you were in another coaching program, and they were supposed to kind of teach you the funding game, and then you kind of ended up having to pay twice for it with them, and then for me. So like, kind of walk me through your experience working with that other company. You don't have to say that the name of it, but that other company. What was your kind of experience with them, and what made you feel the need to have to go over and basically pay for the same thing twice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the other company was definitely cheaper. I think it was like 2 grand. So at the time, I was like, oh, this is probably all I need. And like when I actually got into it, it's really tough to get like the funding. Like I wasn't getting approved for like high
Hmm.
limits. There wasn't really anyone to reach out to. So like for me, it was like I know I have the right like steps. I worked pretty hard getting my credit on point, but like I need some help with it, right? Um,
Hmm.
so for me, it made sense, with this program, obviously, having everything laid out and just kind of being told what to do. Like it makes it 10 times
Yeah.
easier. You can just sit there with someone and say, like, hey, this is like what my credit looks like. This is what I'm trying to do. Like, what do I do next? So,
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because funny enough, too, is like that same program that you took. I took that program like a year or two before I paid like the 2 grand for it, and
mhm,
I was in that same mindset. I was like, oh, this is probably all I need. And then I apply for an Amex card, and then all I get is like 2K, and I was like, well, now I don't want to apply for anything anymore if this is all I'm gonna get, because I'm seeing
mhm,
like other people get approved for like 15, 25, 50, 75K cards, and kind of for me like that like big motivation of starting this program too is just like, dude, I probably spent at least 10 grand into programs that were BS.
mhm,
They didn't have the support in it. It wasn't easy to follow along. It kind of felt like just kind of like scrapped together. And
mhm,
I'm really glad that, it kind of sucks that you had to go through that same experience. But now that I'm able to be like, yo, like, here's exactly what you got to do step by step. Here's the words to say to the banks, what to put on the applications and stuff. So um, honestly, working with you has been great. I want to be able to work with more clients like you, just because some of the
mhm,
clients that have had, they're a little bit slower to work, and I'm like, dude, like they have better credit than you. I'm like, why is Anton crushing it way harder than somebody else who's ahead of
mhm.
the funding game than you? So like, kudos to you for that. I guess for you right now, you're doing sales. What's kind of the where do you kind of see yourself investing all of the 100K plus that we got for you here in the near future?
Yeah, so for me, probably the biggest investments, I'm looking for something that is like pretty much passive, right?
Hmm.
So talk to you about doing some real estate, some fix and flips. Obviously, it's nice with the real estate, just knowing like, okay, if we're buying at this price, like we know we can sell it for this, we know we're making a profit, so it pays for itself.
Hmm.
I've also been looking at some other kind of like credit repair businesses that are all like online, right?
Oh,
Um,
really? Okay.
yeah. One I just reached out to. So we just had a meeting a few weeks back. It's basically like all automated, right? So you have like a funnel
Nice.
set up. You basically send people to a funnel. They don't pay until after the credit is fixed, and it's like totally
Oh,
compliant.
dude,
So
that's sick.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you basically be coming on as like the affiliate side of like the credit pair. You're just sending them the
Basically,
that's
yeah, just
dope, dude.
affiliate sending them to it. So, yeah, I see that's, I mean, obviously come from the sales side too. We've seen a lot of people just get denied for like financing, right? So it's like, hey, put them through
Yeah.
this. Now they're a perfect, lead because their stuff is fixed. They're happy. We're happy. So, yeah, that's what I've been looking at recently.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I'm super excited for your journey, dude. And like I said, love to start working with more people like yourself. Because people are motivated, are gonna take action. Just makes my job so much easier. And I'm glad, like literally, join like even before you joined the program, I remember you and I were just like still going back and forth just through DMs, like still giving out like value and stuff. And then like eventually you hopped in, which I was super glad because I was like, oh yeah, like I didn't know you were gonna even hop on. I was just like, I'm just gonna keep talking to this dude, give him some game. But it's dope to finally have you in here and like be one of the students who like literally within the first like 2 3 weeks already getting 25 50K, and then a couple months later we're already over 100. So love that for us. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you being part of the Family Legacy University, dude. And let's just keep crushing it, dude. Like even after we've hit the 100K, you already know I still got your back, and I'm gonna keep working with you to get more funding, like we're doing now.
Definitely. I'd say I definitely appreciate, because I think we originally had the initial call and I was a little like skeptical because I already like paid for a course. I'm like, do I want to pay again and do I want
Yeah,
to invest? And I think you kind of following up with me and like me following up with you. Like I think it was like kind of the point where I was like, okay, this dude like he gets it and he's not really like worried about the sale. Like he genuinely like wants to help me out through this process. And I mean getting 100K in I think what 4 months now. So like is insane. Um,
yeah, right.
could get more. It's almost like we're like, what do we want to invest in? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
and obviously the community as well. So, having those speakers come on and talk about their investments and their entrepreneurial journey has been something that it's great to be a part of a community like that, right? Like people that are trying to
yeah,
better themselves. So, yeah, just super happy. Social media, brought us together for whatever reason, and
yeah.
been
No, and
crushing
now
the
we're just gonna
funding
keep
game
crushing
and.
it.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
super
dude.
excited to keep going. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm super stoked too that you brought up like just the community side of things, just because, yeah, man, like I'm always constantly trying to figure out like, I people paid me for XYZ. How do I add more to that I didn't even tell them that we're gonna add? And like the last group call we had with like Xavier and Sophia, like
Mhm.
how was that for you? I thought that was like really sick to have other like not just learning from me, but from other people who are crushing it. What were your thoughts on that?
Mhm. It was really cool. I think, especially in kind of this entrepreneurial space, it's almost kind of lonely sometimes, right?
Definitely.
And having that community, like hearing their stories from kind of like rags to riches, them being hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, paying that stuff off, and now I think he's what reselling Nintendos, which is like some crazy like
Yeah,
niche thing, but it was really helpful just to see people crushing in different industries, right? And they all kind of said like, hey, like we were able to access these opportunities because we got our credit right, because we got our funding. We were able to leverage that and be extremely successful in their spaces. So yeah, just really cool hearing.
hmm,
I think it's like sometimes we almost know that if we just have more funding, like we'd have more opportunities. And it's like seeing that full circle, seeing these people that
exactly.
have been through the process and now they're investing, now they're making money passively, now they found their opportunities. So yeah, it was a really cool experience on that call.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't agree more. Literally, just having the right people around you, like, and like, especially doing like entrepreneurship and just kind of like self development in general.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's definitely lonely, especially like people from your past, like high school or college. They might not, if you're trying to like better yourself, they might not like seeing that because they like, try to bring you down. And like, you
Mhm.
know, when people invest to be around the right people, you're going to be around like specifically for this community being real estate investors. Like it's so dope because like everyone gets to piggyback off of each other's success. Whether like somebody gets like a 60K approval, they're going to tell the community exactly how they did it.
Mhm.
Or like, oh, I just figured out this new thing about the credit, or even something about like wholesaling. Like we're all going to be able to learn
Mhm.
from each other, and that's what a big goal of the program too is, just building up a dope community of people who get it. We're trying to work hard, and I'm excited to eventually start, as the community grows, start having those like in person like masterminds. Like that's the next big thing on the goal list. But as far as the credit, dude, like you said, like if you don't have credit, you don't have funding, you don't have opportunities, right?
Hmm.
Most
Hmm.
people, most Americans don't even have any, don't have like 2 grand, 5 grand saved to their name. So let alone starting a business or investing in big opportunities. Like without the credit, they're not going to have it. So
Hmm.
I'm glad that you're able to see kind of that value and not only be able to see it, but actually take action on it. So we got a
Hmm.
lot of big things coming for each other. Um, as far as like the coaching program and just kind of like working with me, like and compared to the other program that you did, what were what were kind of like the main things that you enjoyed most in terms of kind of like the teaching styles?
Um, I would say in terms of teaching styles, this coaching was like much more to the point. So in terms of the videos, it was like, hey, this is exactly, how to do this specific play. If you're at this stage, so whether you have to remove, inquiries or whether you have to, find a relationship manager, which now we have, through the community. But I think it was just very much to the point. And then it was backed up by like our weekly calls, backed up by like, okay, if I have a question, I just go on Slack and, it's responded to, right? Like I know the answer to it.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, it just makes it really easy, kind of like foolproof as opposed to just kind of like guessing with the other program. So, yeah, more direct to the.
yeah, no, yeah, and I'm glad. I always try to make those videos like literally a step by step, like sharing screen, saying the exact word for word scripts, the exact copy and paste data points. I try to make it as like step by step as possible, just because that makes it that means less questions on the one-on-ones or in Slack. But like obviously, I'm pretty
Mhm.
responsive on there. I get right on it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm hoping that that's the type of thing people will be able to see. Just because at least for me, like I'm kind of that same type of learning style too. Like sometimes I just need to have somebody like sit with me and tell me exactly what to do.
Mhm.
And once I get those action steps, I'll just take it and run with it. Just similar thing how you did, but.
Mhm.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad we were able to crush for you, dude. Yeah, man. Let's just keep working together. Let's invest in some more deals and keep stacking some credit, dude.
For sure, for sure. So it was just speaking from the heart. So yeah, this process has been
Yeah,
awesome. So